What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Abe. This is Eve Online, and we are looking at. We're in the middle of our "I'm in Null Now What" series, and we're going to talk about combats, but specifically, we're going to talk about ratting. And so, I'm out in space, which is a little different than the last few videos, and as such, I am in my standing fleet. And you may be able to identify and say, "Hey, I know what that ship is. That is a Vexor, or at very least, a Vexor Navy issue." And I'll talk about why I'm in that ship in a second, but I wanted to draw your attention to the probe scanner. And we're looking at combat anomalies. So you want to make sure that if you hover over this filtered item up at the top here and that there's an X next to anomalies, that that you'll get to see all of the options that you have. And we'll spend another video talking about the activity defense multiplier and what all that means. But for now, we'll just see that we've got dens and hubs, rally points, and havens, and it doesn't look like, and ports. It doesn't look like we've got any sanctums right now, but what does all that mean? Well, if you go over to wiki.eveuniversity.org/combat_sites, which we can look at here, you will see a list of all of the combat sites that are combat anomalies that you'll encounter. And yeah, so they're all links, and they'll tell you kind of what will happen and what will go on, what class of difficulty they are. All the way now, I'm out in Null, so pretty much what you're going to see is 4 through 10. And then if you run any of these in a number of different, you know, if you continue to run them, you will end up getting an escalation, which we can talk about in another video. But for now, you can select one of these. I would click through and have something up on a website so that you can see what you're getting yourself into. If you kill the wrong ship at the wrong time in one of these sites, you might make life very difficult for yourself. So do a little bit of information research before you go out there or while you're out there will serve you very well. So when people talk about ratting, this is largely what they're talking about. They're talking about going to one of these locations and killing pirates for bounties and the potential chance for an escalation. If you're running the level 9 or 10 difficulty sites and you get an escalation, you can sell that escalation for 110 to 150 million ISK by itself. You don't even have to run it, and you can make money off of it. But yeah, so what do people do? A lot of times you'll hear about VNI ratting or VNI AFK ratting, and the VNI is the Vexor Navy issue, and that's this ship here. And so it's not super expensive. If we look at my fit, it's mostly, it's a drone boat. I've got some, site and pirate specific resistances here, and then shield rigs. And, it's only 150 some odd million ISK. And so you don't want to get caught out in this, while people are trying to hunt you down. But, this is a very effective ship. You fly into whatever site you're at, find something to orbit at about 30 kilometers, use your oversized afterburner, and you're good to go. It's the name of the game is speed tanking with the VNI. And then you just drop your drones, and you work primarily with heavy drones and let them do all the work. So so that's what it is you're basically finding these combat anomalies, flying in and killing them all and moving on. And so, you can make anywhere from 30 to maybe 40 million ISK in the level 9s. In the just if you just go to the hubs by themselves, like the level 8 difficulty 1 or whatever sites, you might make, I don't know, if I'm remembering correctly, 13 to 20 million in the site. They take different amounts of times to clear as well, but it's good to know. So I'm going to dock up just so I have one less thing to worry about. But I wanted to point out the probe scanner here. And so combat anomalies are where you're going to do most of your ratting. Some of the time you're going to be able to use a VNI like this, other people end up scaling up into battleships, whether they use a rattlesnake or a Macarial. I use a Macarial. Or they may even go as high as a carrier or a super carrier like a Nidhogger or a Hell. And that's literally, they're doing the same sites you are, they're just doing them faster. So you'll hear ticks and how much ISK per tick. A tick is about 20 minutes, and if you look, they'll show up every 20 minutes or so. And it's basically how much ISK they've made in that 20-minute span. So in a carrier, your ticks may be 30 to 40 million. In a VNI, you're killing things more slowly, so they may be 15 million, maybe, I don't know, 12. It all depends on kind of what you're doing, what site you're in, and all of that. So ratting, and while I'm here, let me announce this to my Intel channel. But yeah, so while you're ratting, you want to be paying attention to local, because you want to make sure that, as newts or neutrals come in, that you're aware and that you're not left out in this ship that is not meant to fight other people. You want to be paying attention. Oops, I did it in Alliance chat and not in not in the Intel channel. All right, we're back in the Intel channel. And anyway, you want to be safe, and you want to make sure that you're paying attention to the Intel channel, that you're paying attention to local, and you're making sure that as people are either coming close to your system, which would be advised, you're then docking up before they actually get there, because you would be surprised, and most likely will be, by how quickly people can show up where you're at and be attacking you. When you're in these anomalies, other people can pull up their probe launcher and warp to the same exact place that you warp to, and they don't even need to scan you down. So you might think that by tapping V and activating your directional scan that you're being safe because you don't see any probes and you're fine. But in most cases, if you're ratting, they can warp right to you, and they'll likely know which anomaly that you're in by using their own D-scan. So be safe. But this is also a lucrative way to make some money and to spend some time in a corporation. And like we talked about, if you're ratting and you don't want to spend the time to salvage and loot, then maybe you can reach out to somebody else who is new and offer that to them as a way to make a little bit of money, which maybe you took advantage of when you came out and joined. So working as a VNI, flying a carrier or a battleship, any of these things, this is kind of one avenue of one way to spend time and money. And there are obviously smarter and safer ways to do this than others, and just be sure that you're being safe about it. So that's ratting. At very least at this level, we can get into, if you're curious, hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you're curious and you want to see exactly, if you want me to walk through the fit, if you want me to walk through running a site, and kind of the whole, like, just step by step what I think about and what I do. I'd be happy to go through it, and yeah, so just let me know. Otherwise, that wraps up this video, and in the next one, let's see. Let's talk about escalations in the next video, and then sometime after that we'll get into activity defense multipliers. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me, and if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.